Why do you actually go to the gym? Is it to feel good? Or is it to finally see the results you want? And which one of those options would make you feel better? Most men go to the gym for years. They train consistently. They do what all the YouTubers tell them to do: progressive overload, 10,000 steps. They even do strict diets for months on end, but never achieve the lean, aesthetic, desired body they truly want. And there's a reason why most men never get there. Out of 60 million men in the United States age 18 to 45, only around 250,000 of them actually have a lean aesthetic physique. That's less than 1%. If you want to build this top 1% physique that is about 1 in 250 guys, that makes you extremely rare and magnetic, you need to have a blueprint. Aesthetic physiques aren't built by accident, and lean physiques are maintained. And desired physiques are built on structure, habits, and your environment. This is the blueprint behind the aesthetic body that every guy has used, whether he knows it or not. It is the structure behind the body that gets more attention, makes you more attractive, and looks good with your shirt on or in clothes. Every single one of these steps stacks on top of the other. If you miss one, your progress is going to stall. Follow all 5 and you will become unrecognizable in the next 6 months. But every single aesthetic physique, regardless of genetics, is built on the same 3 principles: proportions, symmetry, and silhouette. And in step 3, I'm going to break down exactly how you train to acquire this type of physique. So here's how the blueprint works. Step 1, you need to get lean first, because nothing is going to look aesthetic or good if you have a layer of fat over it. Getting lean first is the foundation, and it is imperative for this process. And there's a few reasons for that. Number 1, we first need to see where you actually genetically already put on muscle and which muscle groups we need to focus on. Remember, building an aesthetic physique isn't about being the biggest guy in the room. It's not about pushing the most amount of weight. It's about putting muscle in the right places to amplify your body and make it look as aesthetic as it can for you, your individual genetic structure. Number 2, we get a hit of confidence. Remember in the beginning of this video when I asked you why you work out, to look good or to feel good? The answer was probably to look good. That is the whole reason you're in the gym, and feeling good is a benefit of looking good. We want you to look at yourself and be proud of what you built, and getting lean is the fastest way to do that. 10 to 12% body fat is the threshold for men. This is the point where your physique starts to become more attractive and more desired, and you start getting a little bit of a boost. Now you start wanting to go out more, you start becoming more social, and this confidence carries over into every single aspect of your life. And now we can start building on top of that and creating the aesthetic physique. Going through a dieting phase also teaches you some fundamentals of what it's going to take to actually maintain this physique long term. And you need to make this your new baseline. You're going to learn discipline, consistency, delayed gratification, controlling your hunger, and doing things that feel uncomfortable in the moment but have a big payoff in the future. You are rewiring your brain the complete opposite to what modern society has done for you, giving you comfort and dopamine at all costs, quick access to things that make you feel good only for a few minutes. But what we're trying to build may feel uncomfortable in the moment, but long term will make you feel 10 times better. Getting lean is just the starting point. The second phase is one of the most crucial if you want to continue making progress. And this is all about utilizing phases. One of the most important things you need to understand about building this aesthetic physique is it's not done on a whim. It's not done based on how you feel. You don't just decide one day, I'm going to do a bulk and then I'm going to cut. Everyone who has built a aesthetic physique over a long time goes through the same exact phases, and it goes like this: cut, reverse diet, lean bulk, mini cut, rinse and repeat. This way you are always having a goal to work towards, and you're always making progress towards that desired physique. And we're going to break down each one of these steps and why they're so important. Number 1, we already covered, which is cutting and dieting. You need to get down to at least 10 to 12% body fat. This is going to reveal your muscles. All that hard work you've put in the gym is finally going to be worth it, and you're going to get the payoff. This is also going to control your waist size, make it look slimmer, and emphasize every single muscle group you've built. Next is the reverse dieting phase, arguably the most important phase that 99% of people mess up on. Reverse dieting is the period just after your cut where you slowly increase your calories week on week by about 100 to 200 calories until you reach your maintenance. This is where your physique is actually going to look its best. The diet is just the beginning of the process. Your reverse diet forces you to increase your calories, start filling out your glycogen stores, and make you not only look leaner, but also bigger and have more strength in the gym. And it is absolutely imperative, but it is the most difficult. Your hunger cravings are going to be high. You're going to want to binge eat, and this is where most guys fail. If you can stay on track during this period, you will see your physique at its peak for that given time. Food's going to increase, so is your sex drive, libido, drive, and overall mood and energy on a daily basis. This sets us up perfectly for a muscle building phase, which a lot of people call a lean bulk. In this phase, we're going to be in a very slight calorie surplus, just enough for us to build muscle and strength without putting on too much fat. Ideally, you never want to go over 500 calories above your maintenance, but staying within around 300 is enough to build muscle long term, keep making progress in the gym, and actually see fantastic results. Because if you go in a massive calorie surplus, you add 1,000 calories, you're going to have to pull all that fat back off on the next phase, which is going to be a nightmare because you're going to be dieting for way too long. And that leads us on to phase 4, mini cuts. This is after you've done your lean bulking phase for 6 to 8 months. You've put on a good amount of muscle tissue and a little bit of fat gain. Your body fat's roughly sitting at 14-15% after your diet. And now it's time to pull that fat off to get back in a good position to build muscle and bulk again. A mini cut is a period where you go a little bit more aggressive on your diet. Instead of going into a 300 or 500 calorie deficit, you go closer to 750 calories to 1,000, and you get the fat off as fast as possible so you can continue building muscle. You only want to do this period for around 2 to 6 weeks, depending on how much fat you have. But you want to make sure in this period you are productive, you are not cheating on your diet, and you are trying to get the fat off as fast as humanly possible. This is how you keep your aesthetics year-round. This is how guys who have aesthetic physiques never seem to get fat. They never seem to get out of shape, and they never lose the consistency because they're always in a period of doing the things that are slightly discomfortable. Tracking their calories, doing cardio, in some type of dieting phase where they are making sure they're doing the things they need to do. These phases are imperative to actually keep control of your physique rather than your physique being swayed by your appetite, your cravings, or what event is going on this weekend. Step 1 and 2 are extremely important, but number 3 is imperative if you actually want your physique to look aesthetic. And that's training for the body you actually want. Not just going to the gym and moving weights A to B, mindlessly scrolling on your phone in between sets. You need to start going to the gym with a mission. You look at your physique that you built in step 1. You saw which muscle groups you need to grow, and now you need to prioritize those muscle groups to build the proportionate, symmetrical, and the physique with a strong silhouette. There's a few areas that you need to focus on regardless of how developed your physique already is if you want to keep building this aesthetic physique. And number 1 is going to be your side and rear delts. This is going to give you the V taper. It's going to enhance every single muscle group you already have. If your delts are bigger, it's going to make your arms look more separated. It's going to make your chest look more impressive, and it's going to make your lats look wider. This is the highest ROI muscle you could develop. Make sure when you're training your delts, you're actually treating them like any other muscle group, especially when you're doing your dumbbell lateral raises or your rear cable flies. You need to make sure you're progressing. I don't want to give you guys basic advice. Oh, go to the gym, do progressive overload. But it is important, even on smaller muscle groups, you treat them like a compound. You go to the gym, you look at what you did last week, and you try and improve on that by adding reps or adding weight. The next muscle group you want to be focusing on is your upper chest. This is imperative to having a balanced physique. This is going to tie into your neck, your shoulders, and your traps, but it's going to stop your chest from looking saggy. If you look at a lot of power lifters, they have very overdeveloped lower chest but no upper chest because they do a lot of flat bench press. This exercise is not that great if you actually want to develop an aesthetic physique. It's putting a lot of tension just on your triceps, your shoulders, and your lower chest, and has a high injury risk. You want to make sure you're doing exercises that really focus on the upper chest. Incline dumbbell pressing, reverse grip benching, low to high flies. These things are going to isolate that muscle group, get more stimulus there, and completely change the way your physique looks. You want your chest to look like a plate of armor rather than saggy gorilla boobs. Your arms are going to be imperative for creating the illusion of a smaller waist. The whole idea of creating an aesthetic physique is make everything come down to a tight, small waist and make it look smaller than it actually is. This means developing your arms, making them look complete and dense, having big triceps that hang off the bone. I highly recommend having a dedicated arm day in your routine because this makes a huge difference in how easy it is to actually grow your arms. And if you guys want a full routine that's less than 4 hours a week that you can use to actually develop a physique long term, and you don't have to keep switching between these new routines you hear, follow me on Instagram at Brasai and DM me the word routine, and I will send you guys a free blueprint of the exact workout routine that I use to build my aesthetic physique while working long hours. The last two muscle groups are really going to give you that silhouette that stands out and looks aesthetic no matter what. Doesn't matter if you're wearing clothes or not. Number one is lats. This is the foundation of your V-taper. Your delts are going to sit on top of the V-taper, but the lats really make it stand out, and this is where it really shows. To build your lats, you want to be doing basic exercises that work, but get really skilled and good at them. Do things like wide grip pull-ups and start adding weight to them over time. Do some type of low cable row with one arm so you get a good connection to your lat. Stick to the basics, keep doing the same exercises, and master them. This is how a physique is built, not by switching routines constantly, trying to find the perfect optimal exercise. This is not going to help you in the long run and hold you back from making progress. And the last one is quads. You don't need massive quads like a bodybuilder, but what you do want is quads that are well developed, athletic, and striated. If you develop your quads enough, it's going to start making, again, your waist look smaller and emphasize that V-taper. Really what we're trying to develop now is the X-frame. Big quads on the lower body, small waist, and big flaring lats. This is where your physique really starts to stand out and makes you look more powerful, more athletic, and more agile. Having a great physique is fantastic. That looks aesthetic, but we also want it to be usable and be athletic. Now, when you're training, you want to make sure that you are following progressive overload. You're trying to improve week in and week out, but you're also not just chasing ego. You're not letting your form break down. You're actually thinking about your sets while you're training. Every single rep, you're thinking about what you're doing, how much tension you actually feel on the muscle, and you're being present during your workout. Your workout doesn't have to last an hour, 2 hours. You can go to the gym for 35, 45 minutes, get a fantastic session as long as you're actually there on a mission to train and progress. Think about your workouts or any exercise you're trying to do as something you need to improve at over time. Currently, right now, you're probably level 1, maybe level 3, and there's 15 levels you need to keep improving at every single time you go and gain experience by doing the exercises. The longer you can stay on the same routine, the better. Your workouts are not burning calories. They're not about moving as much weight as possible. It's about sculpting your body to have muscle where you need it. Step 4 is all about being able to do this long term. Building aesthetic physique is going to take a long time. Some of you are going to be able to build one in 6 months, maybe a year, and some of you it may take 3, but you need to automate your environment to make it feel effortless, not something you have to do where every single time you do one of the habits or tasks that needs to be done to build a physique, you feel friction. Instead, we want it to be automatic, feel effortless. Some of the best ways to automate your environment and make it feel effortless is number 1, find meals you really enjoy, that you can't wait to eat every single day, and rotate between them. So you have a structured plan so it stops you from having decision fatigue or feeling lazy or tired after work, and then you go grab the snack in the cupboard. Make sure your environment is clean. You don't have things like that laying around to even give you the option. Train at a consistent time. This is just an anchor in your lifestyle so you get into the routine of going to the gym at 8 p.m. or 8 a.m. And so you can always fall back in that routine quickly, whether you go on vacation, whether something comes up in life, you go to the gym at that time, and now you're back in the swing of things. Same with your sleep schedule. Make sure you're actually focusing on your sleep. If you are not sleeping correctly, your progress is going to be a lot slower, especially if you're in a dieting phase. Lack of sleep is going to cause to more inflammation, more cortisol, and you're not actually going to know if you're losing weight because you're going to be holding water retention. You also need to start surrounding yourself with people that are on the same journey as you or already in the position you want to be. This means leaving behind some of your old environments, the people who party, the people who eat junk food, and trying to progress and become the next version of yourself. This may cause you to be lonely for a little period, of which I call evolution purgatory. the space between where you're trying to get to and who you're leaving behind or the person you're leaving behind. This is imperative though because it's going to reaffirm that you're on the right track. You're going to learn from others in real time, and it's going to make the whole thing feel 10 times easier. Lastly, buy clothes that you look good in. This is your reward for being lean. You're finally proud of the body you earned. Now, every time you see yourself, you reaffirm that you are on the right track. You are the guy making things happen, transforming his body and his life. And this just gets you that extra little boost, that little bit of reward that keeps you on track no matter what. Because now you know what it feels like to be the version of yourself you wanted to be 5 months ago, 6 months ago, and you remember what it felt like to be the version of yourself before. Tired, lazy, wanting and not doing. Step 5. Some of you may not like this one, but you need to earn your balance. A lot of you guys say, oh, but this is really difficult. I don't want to be this disciplined. I need to have balance in my life. But did you have balance before you started this journey? The last 5 years, 2 years, 3 years of eating junk food, not exercising, that is not balanced. That is being lazy. Now you have to fight back all those years, all that time you spent being lazy, and earn your freedom, earn your balance. That means being disciplined for 6 months to change your life. Then you can start having a cheat meal once a week. Once this routine, this habit, this new version of yourself becomes effortless and it becomes automatic, just like step 4. Now you can start having a little bit of balance back in your life. You can have that bag of candy. You can go out to the movies and have a full bag of popcorn. But first, you need to see results. You need to know you are never going back to the old version of yourself. You can be social. You can go out and eat. You can even go out and drink as much as you want and still have an aesthetic physique, but you need to earn it. You need to build it. You need to see some type of results first. If you try do it along the way, you're going to end up falling back to the person you used to be, and you will never actually see significant progress. Learning moderation is going to be the key if you want to be able to sustain the aesthetic physique, because once you've built the physique, you've been disciplined for a long amount of time, you know what it took to get there from where you were before. And you do not want to go through that entire process again. Now you want to be able to follow the phases. So if you go out and you have cake, you have a dinner, you even eat 5,000 calories in a night, you're not going to continue doing it because you know where it leads to and you've been there before. You know how to moderate your food consumption, your alcohol consumption, and actually live with balance. But again, earn your balance and build the physique and get results first. These 5 steps are essential, and they are the blueprint to actually building an aesthetic physique, not the generic fitness content you're probably used to. And if you want someone to mentor you through this process, make sure it's built around your lifestyle, your habits, and your preferences, what you enjoy doing on a daily basis and eating. Follow me on Instagram at Brasai and DM me the word ready. We'll talk about where you're currently at, where you're trying to get to, and how we can do it together, because I've helped hundreds of guys do the exact same transformation and completely change the way the world sees them.